Lucas and Has Boy beat.
Oh my, the boys are back in town.
Oh, half.
Yeah, that's true. What's up, dude?
Nothing much. Living life, you know.
Living life till them to the fullest. Tell them Swayze and you only live it once.
Yep. Just waiting on medical results and everything. I'll catch you up to speed on everything else. But y'all keep saying y'all prayers. Yeah.
So I'm just trying to tweet this out.
Yeah, I already did that.
Yeah, it's easy from a cell phone. I'm doing it from my laptop.
Oh man, it feels good to be back. Although, you know, we only got what next week is the end of roster. You know, end of roster has to be in.
I think so.
By the 26th.
What
I
is
think
it
by
next
Wednesday?
Wednesday?
Yeah.
Yeah, next week. Yep.
I am accepting birthday presents, next week. So y'all can cash at me whatever, gift cards.
Sorry, I'm still trying to see this out.
So yeah, my birthday's next Thursday.
27th, right?
Yep.
That's what I thought.
Yep.
Huh? Yeah. What? Bitch, I don't remember making a passcode. Why?
Wow. For what?
My messages.
Oh, you have to make one now.
I never made one. That's the thing. I never made one.
Neither did I. But I want
so
to.
How the fuck am I going to get my messages?
You have to create one on that screen.
But your passcode is required to. I never made one.
You have to make one.
I can't. It's saying you must be signed into the and have chat synced. What?
Yeah.
I never did this. It just did it for me.
It made a passcode.
Twitter update. Yeah, Twitter updated automatically for me. I don't remember doing this at all.
Neither did I.
Change passcode. Can't change passcode. Yes, reset. Make sure to remember. Okay. For fuck's sake.
Gotta love Elon, right?
God damn. Is that why Twitter was down the other day? Fucking hell. Where's my group chat? Who is this? Folks, I have no idea what the hell's happening right now. I'm just trying to get into my Twitter messages. I have no idea what's happening right now. So you guys are witnessing
You're witnessing the downfall of Ty Fisher. Skynet has gotten to his computer.
I finally got it. Anyway, okay, so let's go on topic here for a second because this just really pissed me off. Sup guys, welcome back to another live episode of the Wisemen podcast. Ty Fisher alongside Jerald Lucas. My friend, there's a lot to talk about, but we're going to try and condense it all into like an hour 10. as to
Good luck.
yeah, I know, right? For fuck's sake. So, first things first, quite honestly, is if I can pull up the banner here, the MLS changes to the schedule and the calendar. If you haven't heard already, MLS is switching to a spring summer or summer to spring calendar. Kind of aligning, or not really kind of aligning with the top leagues in Europe, such as La Liga, EPL, Ligue 1, Bundesliga. Yep. All those fun leagues that we love to watch every Saturday morning.
Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah. This has been being talked about for quite some time. And it's finally happening beginning 2027. Jerald, what are your thoughts on this?
I like it because now it aligns MLS with, the other big leagues, right? And it allows, instead of playing pretty much half a season, waiting for the summer window to open, right? To get some more transfers in. Now teams can sign them in that gap between May and July, or May and August, or whenever the new season starts, right? And now they could come into camp, right? And not have to wait until the window opens to, to start.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Because it's technically the off season from May to, whenever they decide to start, whenever it's decided that they're going to start the season, it's an off season. So it's an off season move. But then having also that break in the winter time still lines up with, the big leagues over there across the pond.
Yeah.
And you're able to still bring them in to finish out the season. Right. So I like it. I know they were talking about switching to a table instead of the conferences. And, we haven't heard too much about that after, the schedule changes. But if you're going to make all these changes like this, roster restrictions need to be looked at. As far as not restricting, taking some of the restrictions off. Because you're now lined up with the big dogs, right? Now, if you want to sit at the big dog table, you got to make big dog moves.
Mm-hmm.
And then that means, salary cap's going to have to get raised, or it's going to have to be eliminated, right? Roster, restrictions as far as how many DPs you can have, how many U22s.
Yeah.
Right. All that has to increase, or it goes to an unlimited roster, which I know some people would say, well, Miami's and LA's and, New York's, the big markets.
Yeah.
The Texas area, then, they'll just create, a super team.
More like the places where money doesn't seem to be a problem.
Yeah, it would create super teams. However, there's ways in some of the, as, Don Garber calls it, small markets to have, to get money, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you have a team that's owned by like an NFL owner, to where they could take some of that money from there and now be able to say, hey, well, fuck it, let's go get this guy. Open up the checkbook. You know what I'm saying? Charlotte, they're on, by a damn NFL owner, right?
Yeah.
New England can finally step up and be, they got a new coach. I'm happy for them. Maybe it'll work out. Maybe not, right? But I believe Robert Kraft still owns New England.
Yeah.
Who owns the Patriots, who also owns what? Kraft macaroni and cheese and, Gillette. I mean, there's other ways to open up that, or even if you say, 4 DPs. 4 DPs and 6 U22s. Or 4 and 4, right? Cool. Raise the salary cap. If you're not going to take away the salary cap, raise the floor, right? And add, make it 4 DPs for U22s. Period.
Yeah.
That will level the playing field with everybody. And I did see on Twitter somebody said about, well, if they're changing to this, they got to compete with, NFL. Cool, no problem, right? And then they said, well, what about the teams that play on football fields? Well, you know what? This is making ownership of those teams pull up their damn big boy pants and go to the cities and be like, hey, we need a soccer stadium. If Chicago, for God's sakes, can turn around and get a brand new stadium that's going to open, 2027, 2028? I'm pretty sure New England and Charlotte can find some spot in that area. And even Seattle. That's my take.
I know I saw something like if Seattle were to build a soccer specific stadium, they were looking like Renton area, which is probably about 20 minutes outside of Seattle. It's where I stayed at when I went to Seattle this year. It's honestly not that bad of a spot. I think the biggest problem, and this was a topic brought up in the group chat that I'm in on Twitter, was that it's just it would be a hassle for people like coming from like north to travel south, a big hassle on the freeway, I guess, or something like that.
Infrastructure changes every day.
Yeah. I mean, hell, look at what is it? What is that being worked on? 270, 670? What is that downtown?
70.
Is it 70? The one that's going to take like for a couple years?
30 years, 25 years, something like that.
The one headed west.
Yeah, that's Well, 7. You mean 7? Yeah. Don't get me started about that.
Is it west? Yeah, I think
East.
It's west. Downtown?
It's the ramp coming. It's the ramp coming from 315 south to go 70 east.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. Yeah, that one is going to be taking forever.
As there was a dispatch article about or channel 4 article.
Yeah. Yep. I think the thing with the divisions would be nice too, honestly, because you have 5 divisions with 6 teams in it.
Yep.
Right. No matter how you align it, right? You cannot break up Cascadia. You cannot break up El Clasico or El Tráfico. You can't break up Copa Tejas. You definitely cannot break up Hell is Real. And you can't break up the Hudson River Derby or the one between Toronto and Montreal, that rivalry that they have. I can't remember which one it is. But then again, you also get a chance to play each team twice, home and home, which opens more opportunity for, hey, let's see, Minnesota come here. Let's see LA Galaxy come here. Let's go to San Diego. Let's go back to Portland, all these areas. RSL, KC, teams that we normally would see every other 1 or 2 years.
See, I think if you have the divisions, right? I think it should be, and here's if you're gonna play with the big dogs, right? How many games is the EPL season?
38, close to 40, I think. You're going to be adding games for sure.
Well, let's just say 40, right?
Yeah.
30 teams. So that leaves 10 extra games, right? If you have it to where it's a single table, yes, you have your divisions, right? So where everybody plays everybody, right? Except for certain games, right? So then you would have that first round of everybody plays everybody, right? But then you would get a second round of Hell is Real and the Hudson Derby, right? And El Trafico and Copa Tejas and Cascadia Cup and Toronto and Montreal. You would get a second one of those, right? And then it would still leave you with another chance to play other teams twice, right? So I would love to have it this way to where we would play San Jose a home and away.
Yeah.
In the same season, right?
Yep.
I would love that rivalry to come back.
Quote unquote.
Yeah. But I mean, they are, they're making changes too, so
Yeah.
Or start up a new rivalry with not even a rivalry, but just St. Louis. St. Louis has been here, right? We've been there, but it's been so we were just there this year or last year or something like that.
This year.
And this would give us a chance to have Austin. You know what I'm saying? If you were to do it that way.
The team that we haven't played in 5 years.
And they would have to come here.
Yeah.
That is one that I would say it is no away match. You know what? No, I would take the away match because Nora on tour would love to go down there to, was it Q2 Stadium? And turn it from, green to black and gold. But I mean, it's, I think you need to have it to where everybody plays everybody once in the season.
Yeah.
And then if you stick with 34 games, right? Okay, cool. Then that means, the ones that have those big rivals, they play those twice. Right? And then you figure out an extra, you figure out extra 4 games for ones that don't have those rivals, right?
Yeah.
And then after the rival games, then you have 3 more games that you got to figure out, like, hell, I don't know what to,
I mean, nonetheless, nonetheless, you're going to have to add more games from 34 to 38 to 40, whatever, however many games you're going to play, right?
Yeah.
So, but then you also have how the playoffs are going to work. I haven't heard much about on that end either, on how playoffs are going to work. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, the best we can do is speculate as to what could happen.
I would like to see here, and here's I do a 12 team playoff on each side. Right? Do
what, top 3 from
the top if you do it, the top 4 have a first round bye.
4, 8, 12.
So that's 4. So then you would have 4 more. You would have 4 games.
You said the top. You said the top 4.
The top 4 in each conference, right? In each side, each West division. And East. Yeah, the top 4 would have a first round bye. So then 5 through 12 has to play each other. Single game elimination. Right? It's the college football playoff model.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. Yeah. Oh, wait, what about the oh wait. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20. So that's 20.
So, but if you do it like this,
okay.
So
my math isn't mathing right now.
Obviously. Yeah, so Eastern Conference, right? The top 4 all have first round buys. So then, you got 5 through 12 that would, boom. You put them in that bracket, however, 5 plays 12, 6 plays 11, so on and so on, right? And then that knocks out 4 teams right there. They move up to the next round. That knocks you down to 2 teams, right? And that'd be the conference final. Boom! Now you're in MLS Cup. Flip it over to the West Coast. That's the same. They have a 12 team, so that literally leaves 6 teams not getting into the playoffs. 3 on each side. So that's 24 out of 30 teams, right? Mm-hmm. I think that gives a little more meaning to, it might slack because of, hey, it's the top, the top 12 on each side gets into the playoffs, but we're so used to seeing so many people at the bottom that after a certain period in the season, they're already eliminated, right? So if you're saying 12 is the cutoff, everybody's fighting. Everybody's fighting for that spot, because then now you could be a 12 seed and run the gauntlet.
Yeah.
Or you could be a 9 seed and run it, right? And it gets rid of the best of 3. It creates more dynamic and fireworks, in my opinion, right? Because then you could have a Hell is Real and a Hudson Derby in one playoff. And I guarantee if you go back and look at all the views of the Hell is Real playoff round, that was probably the most watched round, even more than Messi. And I know that's a bold statement, but you got Hell is Real playoff edition. The two teams absolutely hate each other. On the field they hate each other, but I mean, and the fan bases hate each other, so I mean, boom, Columbus loses first one, comes back, blankets FC Cincinnati in the second game. Now you're setting up real fireworks for game 3, right? Cool. But I still like a winner take all model. Now you have to fight.
Yeah.
There is no, we could lose this one, we'll be back home next game. No, there is no, it's do or die. And and it goes straight to extra time. If it's level at the end of that, then it's PKs, right? Go back to the old model.
Yeah.
But that's my opinion. You take the college football playoff, put it on both sides. You got 24 out of 30 teams fighting to get into the playoffs. I think it brings Eastern Conference, Western Conference. You have those divisions within each conference. It's almost like you're taking college football playoffs, baseball and NBA and NFL with the divisions inside of the conferences and putting them all into one sport, right?
See, my biggest thing though is if it's going to be one table, that would that be almost like I don't even know.
I mean, if you're going to do one table, then it's 12 teams.
Yeah.
Then it's a 12-team playoff.
Yeah, I'm just confused as to how they're going to put divisions inside of a single table. Because then it just seems like that the MLS is going to do what the NHL does. You know what I mean?
And NBA does it.
Yeah. If you're going to do it that way, then just keep the conferences. Don't merge it to one table. Because then you're still going to be playing other teams outside of the conference just one time.
Yeah, but I think
for me personally, I think I just need a little bit more clarification as to how the hell this is going to work.
Well, they haven't stated that that's happening. They're floating the ideas.
Yeah.
But if y'all are listening out there, MLS, please listen to some of the models that we've suggested.
What about this small season, February to May in 2027 before the actual changes go into effect? 14 game regular season, MLS Cup playoffs.
I mean, it's almost like MLS is back.
Yeah.
The COVID season, right?
That was a shit season.
But I mean, if you're talking about each team plays a 14-game season, and I mean they'll be MLS champs, right?
Yeah,
it'll be in the record book as MLS champs for the 2026, 2027.
Right. It would have been 2020. It'll be 2027 and then 2028. I thought, wouldn't it?
No, so it'd be 2027 champs because then the next season starts 2027, 2028 season. But
what is it they're calling this? MLS 3.0?
I like what it also does as far as Champions Cup,
Mm-hmm.
U.S. Open Cup, the Canadian Cup. And am I missing? And Leagues Cup. Like qualifying. It's almost like that playoff for that short season is almost qualifying for those tournaments.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that CONCACAF and MLS and FIFA are letting the Canadian teams, change with, all the changes in the MLS, allowing them to be considered domestic instead of, not part, technically not part, adding them into the windows and all that since MLS is changing.
Yeah. You know what else could possibly change?
New commissioner?
Well, that's going to be a given for sure, because his contract is up in 2027, I believe.
Yep, right before the new it's up in June, I think, of 2027.
I think, yeah, with the season happening right in the middle of July.
What's the other change?
The other change could be at the helm of the Columbus Crew, with Wilfried Nancy possibly, I say possibly, going to Celtic. Because we don't know. Truth be told, I don't know what the hell's going on.
From what I've been, reading, whoever's that Fabramano or something like that.
Fabrizio Romano?
Yeah. Usually when he pipes in with a story about a coaching change or a player leaving, whatever,
wherever there's smoke, there's fire.
And when he pipes in, there's fire.
Yeah.
And I read the article that he wrote, and I guess the asking price, well, the parting price, if they want him, is like £2 million,
which is conversion.
Are we getting any comments?
So can we swap this? What are we doing? $2
million US or £2 million.
I was about to say, yeah. Is it euro?
No, it's pounds.
There's no pound. Oh, wait, is it pound sterling?
Let me see.
I think it's pound sterling.
It would be 2.6 million in US dollars.
Yep.
Which is, and Celtic has the money.
Yeah, they do. They're one of the most decorated Scottish teams in the SPL.
Yeah, so I mean, and I think it's, all hush hush, keeping, playing it close to the vest and, saying, oh, they haven't talked or we haven't, nobody's asked but when Fabrizio Romano, pipes in with a story, there's fire.
Yeah.
And, he's well respected in the journalist world, especially overseas. So, if he types up something saying that it's all but done, or as people said, everything's slowed down, has it collapsed? Has the talk stalled? I forget what else he said, but I guess they're just waiting on him. They're waiting on Nancy. Yeah.
See, I've seen so many things though, right? I've seen that, talks are all said and done and whatnot. They're being finalized. Then I see, no club has reached out to the Columbus Crew yet. Then I see, he's flying. He was in England he was in London to talk with execs. Then I was like, he's talking with Issa Tall about the Crew upcoming season. I'm like, and then I had people going at me for the article that I wrote, talking about, this is just give up on the team. This is just throwing the towel. Blah 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 nonsense. Oh, the sky's falling. It's not even that. I didn't even write it on the intent of that even being the intent of it. The intent of it was to highlight exactly what the Columbus Crew would be missing after they've built an identity the past 3 years, what they will be missing, what they possibly could be missing heading into 2026.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving up on it. I'm not saying, he's going, he needs to go. I'm just saying, hey, if the Columbus Crew were to lose Wilfried Nancy, if MLS were to lose Wilfried Nancy, this is what is going to happen.
And it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt MLS.
It's gonna hurt MLS bad.
Because we're developing all these damn players, and they go overseas.
Yeah.
But it also seems like we're developing fucking head coaches, and they go overseas.
Mm-hmm.
It's just like make up your mind what you want to do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't find the article. I wish I would have saved it, but it's a guessing game right now. But there are some other good coaches that are out there that would love to come here to Columbus and coach. I've seen Savaresi's name pop up. Yes, somebody.
Savarese?
Yeah, somebody said his name. And I'm like, okay.
No, thank you.
Jim Curtin. I know I've said that.
That would be my go-to.
And honestly, everybody's like, no, Jim Curtin, is not going to come out and coach. He said he would take the year off unless the right situation opened. Who would not want to come coach, Columbus? Columbus has built an identity, like you said.
Yeah.
They built an identity, and who better else to unlock Daniel Gazda?
Yeah. Now, there's another thing also that I saw in the comment section on Facebook where everybody was just absolutely bashing my writing. So first of all, thanks guys for giving me the 1.7 thousand views on that piece. Love it. Love the engagement. Was that, if Nancy leaves, we're still going to play the same. No, we're not.
No,
we're not. Jim, if hypothetically speaking here, okay, if Nancy were to leave and Jim Curtin were to come to Columbus, this is going to be a whole different team. We're going to go back. Now, I'm not saying that he
would switch to his diamond.
Yeah. He would go back to a 4, I believe it's a 4-1-4 4-2-3-1? No.
A 4-1-3-2.
Or a 4-1-2, a 4-1-2-1-2, I think it is. Whatever it is, it's going to be a diamond shape. He's going to go 4 in the back and whatnot. we're not going to play the same way with a new coach that Wilfried Nancy has instilled in Columbus.
Unless here's the funny thing.
Here's the caveat.
Unless Issa decides to give a fair chance to Courtois and bring him in.
I wouldn't want Courtois. I wouldn't want Courtois. Me personally.
I'm just saying. He didn't get the fair chance there in Montreal.
Well, he also went to Montreal where the ownership is about as thick as a paper napkin.
Well, also he was probably promised a bunch of shit.
Yeah. Again, ownership is as thick as a paper napkin.
Yeah. So, he was probably, promised a bunch of shit. And then when he was trying to capitalize on it, oh no, well, whatever the case may be, he wasn't given that fair shot there in Montreal. Maybe he finds another head coaching job somewhere, or an assistant head coach, and then work his way back up to an MLS coach. But I mean, if for some reason Issa gives him a shot, he might play Nazi system, but then again, when he was the head coach of Crew 2, he ran with a 4-back. He had that 4-back system. So, I mean, he could change it up, right? Just no more Caleb Porter. His house still might be up for sale. I don't know if anybody bought it.
Not.
But I mean, there's several other coaches. Somebody said Klopp.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, I said Herdman.
I would say probably 50-50 just because of everything that happened when he was with the Canadian national team. Yeah. With the whole drone stuff or whatever it was. I would say 50-50 on that. I'm not denying he's a good coach, but I think that whole thing kind of follows.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
What about Ainge?
Yeah, right. The dude yeah, right. Any major European manager is a fever dream. What is it, my buddy? Hold on. My buddy sent me this. Where'd it go? This was in the Okay. I would assume that this person is just trying to reach for the stars. Okay. This was posted in the Nordica discussion group. Okay, so I came up with a list of realistic managers to replace Nancy when he leaves in the next 3 days. This was on Monday, huh? Jose Mourinho, Jurgen Klopp, Zidane, Guillermo, Antonio Conte, Xavi, the ghost of Siggy Schmidt, Jim Curtin, ... 100 other candidates, then Porter. The first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the first 7 I said are wishful thinking.
Impossible is an opinion.
Not in this case. Do you know how much we would have to sell at least the fairgrounds, the stadium, the historic Crew Stadium, Nationwide Arena, and Huntington Park in order to get Jose Mourinho to Columbus. Like I said, fever dream.
I mean, it's wishful thinking.
It's 100% wishful thinking.
But that's the beauty thing. You never know what can be worked out.
Yeah. Jose Mourinho comes to Columbus. Next thing you know, Columbus is a bunch of bullies because Mourinho wants everybody to go friggin' flying into a challenge like their life depends on it.
Bully ball.
I'm like, that was absolutely crazy. That post.
But I mean, that is a little, but
it's like, I don't know. I was going to try and make a comparison, but I don't even know. I don't know what comparison I can make it to. But I mean, if ownership, somebody wants to fork up the money to Jose Mourinho's agent and have him come to Columbus, I say we would probably win the next 3 MLS Cups. Plus the 2 Leagues Cups. Plus 2 Leagues Cups.
And CONCACAF?
Possibly CONCACAF. Yeah, for sure.
Possibly. And Campiones Cup.
But before, what if Nancy were to move on, right? What would Columbus be losing?
Oh, this is a hard one. Just because I know some things. Great man. Funny as hell in media. Right? I'll just put me on center, why don't you? He would, if he leaves, he would have given the city a new life, right? When everything thought that it was down and out. We have Porter and missing out on the playoffs 2 years in a row, and like I said, great guy. Gave Columbus an identity. Yeah. It's hard saying, one thing.
Yeah. I'm not going to go into what I wrote, but I mean, essentially, you're missing somebody who gets it, who gets football, right?
Yeah.
You're going to miss somebody who kind of lives for the moments, right? And turns them into lessons. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're also going to be missing those kind of nuances that he instills. So it's going to be, if he were to leave, that's a big if, because we still don't know what the hell's happening. If he were to leave, it's a gaping hole of the Columbus Crew that kind of is replicating when Cucho left at the beginning of the season. Because it's going to be hard to replace somebody with that kind of mindset, with those kind of that tactical brain that Nancy has. So with that being said, I mean, if he goes, it's going to be career advancement. It's going to be well earned also. Brendan Rodgers up and leaving Celtic right away. Excuse me. Brendan Rodgers leaving Celtic unexpectedly is kind of shocking, but I guess we have to wait for a couple more days or until something happens. Other than that, it's just we're playing the waiting game with this whole thing. You know?
And that's what I hate.
Yeah. Because then it's like you get people all the time on social media, posting stuff and all that, and they're like, we don't know anything. Not until like a trusted, verified source or something like that just absolutely drops the bombshell. If Tom Bogert drops something, then okay, yeah, for sure, 100% done, 100% done.
I mean, Fabrizio Romano, he's all but, and now if he says it and then Tom turns around and digs and pulls something out and says something, then now there really is fire. You know what I'm saying? You could sort of tell at the end, end season media with both of them. When he was asked about it, he quickly denied. Which, if you know about head coaches in sports, usually when they deny it so quick, there's something there. Yeah. And Issa's body language said it all. Go back and you watch it and you can see Issa's body language was just, when that question was asked, it's this could be the end, right? If he leaves, he goes to Celtic, it is a career advancement. It's one step getting him back towards France, right?
Yeah.
And congratulations to him. Right? Two trophies here with Columbus. You can't ask for, that much.
Yeah.
Any more than that. Yes. Is it shitty that we got knocked out of the playoffs 2 years in a row? Yes. Last year, we played the most games than anybody in the MLS last year. And we were tired as hell. Right?
That part.
This year, yes, Cucho leaves. Ramirez leaves. Right? Production, came down as far as goals being scored. But we still fought. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, everybody, talking shit about Issa. Why didn't you sign nobody? Cucho left and you didn't have his replacement. Yes, we had his replacement, but the team did not want to come off of him.
That part.
It's like, well, you could have shifted to somebody else. Well, why shift to somebody else when we've been in talks with this player? Right? Maybe there could have been some more, more winger help, right?
Yeah.
Maybe some more defensive backs. Maybe some of that could have got maybe a couple more, right? But the ones that we did get, I think everybody's saying Daniel's a bust, right?
He's really not, though.
He's not but like I mentioned somebody before, when you've played in a system for how long did he play with Jim Curtin?
Quite a while.
5 years, 5-6 years, right? Now you're saying you have to relearn a whole new system.
And be asked to do one thing and not the other.
Yeah. there's growing pains.
Yeah.
Right. So I really feel like Daniel will come out next season and silence everybody. Right. And look at the emergence of Hugo Picard. Look at the emergence of Dylan Shimbo. When we signed him in what, 23?
Who?
Was it? Dylan.
24.
When we signed him, okay, yeah, in 24. We signed him in 24. Everybody was like, oh, I don't know,
Yeah.
He made a whole bunch of mistakes. Look what the hell he was able to do this year. Right? Look at Herrera. That man, his loan needs to be bought. Fuck another loan from River Plate. Eason needs to go ahead and buy that loan.
Yeah.
And make it permanent. Because that man has showed so much improvement from when he first got here in 24. So now, yeah, I'd make him a permanent, permanent transfer.
Yeah.
Hugo is like another Matan.
Yeah.
But needs to
good.
And he needs to shoot more.
That part. And that's one thing that I mentioned in my article is like player development under Nancy is probably the best in the league, right? If you take Max Arfston, if you take Zawatsky, Patrick, Jason, excuse me, and anybody else under Nancy from 23, from summer 23 to now, I mean, hell, Arfston was the top assist provider for the USMNT this window, and he developed under Nancy, right? Patrick Schulte developed under Nancy. Jason developed under Nancy after Crew 2, right? That's also something that you're going to be missing is someone who can develop young players into great talent pieces that will get the job done.
See, I think if Jason wouldn't have been benched like he did for pretty much half the season, Jason would have got called up to the Canadian national team. Right? Instead, he, missed 2 windows, I think it was. Didn't get called up because, there's no real film on his progression. And yes, he has developed players. I'm not taking that away from him. But when you're out there and you see something's not working or something is working, just let it be. Until it stops working, let it be, right? And I think what happened was we got all those injuries at one time, right? So the lineups had to get changed, and that roster cohesion went out the window, right? From June till, I want to say from the end of June all the way till, even the playoffs, that roster cohesion was out of whack because of having to rotate the roster because of injuries. Right? And, one person would be good for 2 games, have a stellar game, but then that 3rd game, they would have a bad one. They'd get rotated out, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that hurts development a little bit, but I get it, right? I get it a lot. But like you said, roster development is probably up there in the top. In MLS, I'm not gonna say it's the top one, but it's in the top 3.
Sorry, something from work just sent in to me.
But yeah, no.
Last topic. MLS playoffs continue this week. Yeah.
No.
Just what
I'm in hockey mode.
Fair. What just looking at who all plays this week, what matchup would you be interested in?
Vancouver LAFC. I'm interested in that one. I care less about Messi versus Kentucky and Philly versus Charlotte. NYCFC, I think. I don't know.
NYC.
Okay. That's a battle right there because Philly and New York, New York City, they don't like each other, right? They're not that far apart. No, but I'm interested to see in Sonny versus Thomas Mueller. Like, honestly, those two choosing to come here to MLS is bringing more eyes than Messi, and that's saying something. The Messi mania is starting to die down.
Yeah, it started to die down last year. Yeah.
And I think that's one of the reasons why MLS is like, oh shit, with Apple, like, we're not getting that many subscriptions to season pass, so we're losing money. So let's go ahead and get out of this. Subscription based thing. It's going to allow people to, buy the Apple TV and be able to still watch all the games.
Yeah.
Which Apple TV might go up.
Apple TV would go up for sure.
But it's still one of those MLS is losing money. Messi mania is dying down. Unless they get fucking Neymar.
I think Neymar would be bad for the league, honestly. I just think I think he's been riddled with injuries. He wouldn't be the same Neymar that like he was at Barcelona or PSG, crazier things have happened.
Maybe it's a rejuvenation league for some of the old people, for some of the grandpas of MLS, right?
Right.
They found the fountain of youth, and now they're, I could go 5 more years. Okay, Grandpa, go sit down somewhere before you break a hip.
Right.
No, but I'm really interested in seeing, this Vancouver, LAFC, especially Sebastian Berhalter. He has come along so much, coming from the Crew Academy to, he played. I think he got traded to Austin, and then from Austin to Vancouver.
Yeah.
Or something like that. And he's come alive. And Thomas Mueller has actually pushed Sebastian Berhalter's game to a different level. Right? And Sebastian even said it too. Like, what he demands in and out of practice and in and out of games is perfection. And he pushes you for that. So I think Vancouver beats LAFC.
Oh,
I think Vancouver.
I wouldn't say a hot take because I think that could happen too.
I think Kentucky does get beat.
I hope so.
I don't want them playing in another Eastern Conference final unless it's with us.
Yeah.
But I think the two teams that'll play for MLS Cup is Philly and Vancouver.
That would be cinema. I'd go. MLS Cup, I'd go.
And it'd be hosted in Philly.
Yep. I'll just warm. I got a top golf jacket I can wear.
Oof.
And hats and gloves. I'll be fine. All I need is just some good internet. That's all.
Oof.
Some good internet, some hot chocolate. I'm good. I'm there. I kind of do want to go to MLS Cup when it's not Columbus Crew, just to go see like a city or do like, the fun things.
It would be, just as long as it's not down to Cincinnati.
Yeah, 100%. I would go if it's in Cincinnati, but
you know what? I would, and I would have crew gear on out the ass.
That's funny.
I would, and I'm the fan that would do that, right? But I'd probably be in the press box. Get that letter for the community email for, hey, are you a plot? Oh, I almost want to, get the experience and, go get drunk. But also at the same time, just make sure you pack your own lunch because that dry ass food.
Yeah, man, that shit's yeah.
The only thing good was the damn cookies and brownies, and even the cheesecake was dry. Like, how the hell you have dry cheesecake?
Hey, man.
Hey, they did have they had mini eclairs there.
I saw that. What the hell?
They still were frozen a little bit, so.
Well, my friend, anything else before we pop off and I go do laundry because I have to work in the morning?
Shout out to our third co-host, as it's his anniversary of him and his wife. He couldn't be here tonight, Derek Abbott. Wherever you probably snuck away to the bathroom to look at the podcast. Congratulations on happy anniversary for you guys. It's my birthday next week, so like I said, I'll put on cash out, birthday gifts, gift cards, whatever. I'm turning 38 this year.
Dude, I'm fucking 29, bro.
You still got Similac behind your ears.
Old as shit. Jesus Christ. Nobody prepared me for this.
Really?
Hey, bro, I'm just saying, nobody prepared me for this shit.
How was your birthday?
Oh, man. To make a long story short, very fun.
What happens in there stays there?
Yep.
Okay. No, but that's all I got. Just wait for these end of year roster, finalizations. We'll have a podcast about that. Hopefully Kentucky will be sitting on the couch as well, so they can roll in there. I tell you what, they lose to Miami and Pat Noonan will be on the hot seat. I believe that, and then we can still say, if you ever want a cup, clap your hands. But nope, that's all I got.
I have nothing. But Jerald, my friend, it's been fun. I kind of want to do some stuff for 2026, but we'll talk about that at a later date. In our off season after the season ends. But
we're making roster finalizations.
Right. But as always, for those who are watching or lurking on YouTube, thank you all for tuning in. Be sure to hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell for post notifications whenever we go live, post new content. Be sure to follow us on social media. on X at Wiseman Pod, on Blue Sky at the Wiseman Say Podcast.bsky.social. Be sure to follow us on Instagram at the Wiseman Say Podcast. If you are listening on audio, be sure to leave us 5 stars, leave a comment on our show. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, Pocket Cast, Overcast, thank y'all for listening to the end. Be sure to check us out on Goals TV also. You guys can follow Jerald on social media
at Jerald_Lucas96.
You guys can follow me on
What?
You guys can follow me on social media at Fisher Tyler __. You guys can also follow Derek on social media at FunkyMoses17. And Jerald, my friend, as tradition goes, Wiseman Say. Really quick. Be sure to check out our fourth wall merch store by scanning the QR code at the top right hand of your screen. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Winter's coming. Get yourself the Wiseman Say podcast gear, jackets, hats, anything else, whatever it is. Now we can do it. Jerald, my friend, as tradition goes, Wiseman Say.
Only fools rush in.
Peace out, everybody. Have a good week. Stay safe. Stay hydrated. Stay cool. Hug your loved ones. Go Crew.
Stay wise, y'all.